You've probably seen it before. A black and white photo of Stalin standing proudly with his trusted comrades. Everything looks fine until one day, poof, one of those comrades simply vanishes from the photo. No, it wasn't a magic trick. It was Stalin's version of Photoshop, before Photoshop even existed. This is the story of how one man, a red pen, and a whole lot of paranoia rewrote Soviet history, one disappearing person at a time. In the Soviet Union, taking a photo wasn't just about capturing memories. Oh no, it was political business. You smiled? That could be suspicious. You stood too close to the wrong person? Uh-oh, you blinked in the photo? Well, congratulations. You might be blinked out of existence later. Stalin and his crew knew the power of a picture. After all, photos were evidence. Evidence of who stood by Stalin, and who needed to be quietly erased from history like a bad Tinder date. From 1936 to 1938, Stalin went on what history calls the Great Purge. It's like a Soviet version of unfriending people on Facebook, but with prison camps and execution squads. And those old photo albums, well, they needed editing. Political enemies were removed from life and from the pictures. One of the most famous examples? Nikolai Yezhov, Stalin's right-hand man, until he wasn't. One year he's standing beside Stalin by a river. The next year, just Stalin and a suspiciously calm riverbank. Coincidence? Nyet. Now, you might think deleting people from photos was easy. Just crop, paste, done. But this was the 1930s. They didn't have Photoshop or fancy filters. No clone tool, no AI, just ink, razors, and some seriously skilled hands. These state-approved photo editors turned history into an art project. Comrade Boris looks a little too smiley next to Stalin. Let's airbrush him into thin air. Sometimes they even filled the gaps with trees, rivers, or empty space, as if those missing people were never there, which, officially, they weren't. And then there's Trotsky, the man who helped lead the Russian Revolution and later became Stalin's public enemy number one. At first, he was everywhere, in speeches, parades, newspapers. But as Stalin's mustache grew stronger, Trotsky's image shrank smaller. Eventually, Trotsky was not just erased from the Soviet timeline. He was assassinated with an ice axe in Mexico, because apparently, exile wasn't enough. Ice-cold revenge, very much in fashion in the USSR. So, imagine this. You're a citizen. You remember seeing someone in a photo. You know they were there. But now, they're gone. Do you speak up? Or pretend they never existed? This wasn't just about photos. It was psychological warfare. If Stalin could erase someone from a photo, he could erase them from your memory too. And that, my friend, is how you control a nation.
Discover the stories behind the photos that shaped our world. One image, one moment, endless impact. Subscribe and dive into history like never before.